All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the Run Home podcast, where if I am sitting with the man to my left or to my right, depending on how you're looking at it, that something special is about to happen, and this is not any different. So please welcome the founder, the creator, the man behind the curtain, Brian DeMarzo. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you very much. This is a pretty exciting thing that we're putting out there. I think there's going to be a lot of traffic kind of digging through this, so we're pretty excited to push this out to the community.
Even though we're about to show it to everybody right now, just to tease it a little bit, this is one thing that every person that has seen it has been in the middle of a conversation and then just shut up and started digging into things and totally oblivious to the other people on the call. I've seen it happen 6 times now for the people that we had testing it. It is something that started innocently enough as a conversation, but then it quickly became clear that this was one of the more important things that we could do at the early on in the development stage. So I'll just let it hang there, and then maybe you can go into what we're doing and why.
Yeah, maybe we'll tease it a little more. So this was fun, and I think the original idea really kind of scaled out more and more. As we started doing a little bit, and then Russ, aka Clone, we just came up with more ideas. And I think what I like about this is the interactivity of it, the kind of the way you're looking at it. And it really gives an interesting perspective. It was pretty embarrassing for me to realize that there was a year in the history of CSFBL where I didn't own a team. That's really sad. So I guess there's a good segue to what is this? So the release of user records. So
boom.
Yeah. So the CSFBL, we have a pretty robust history going back. I think some of our data goes back almost 20 years. And it's always been talked about it. How do we go back and see how good people have done and who they've owned, and this whole history of their, not just their teams they have now, but of their entire franchise and their user record from back to the beginning. So that's pretty much what we put in place.
All that information. That's the craziest thing. It's going to blow people away that you still had all that database intact.
Yeah. Some stuff is gone. We did back a while back. We did do some league purges for those kind of defunct leagues. So there will be a few little pieces that are missing, and some very old data was just hard to sort through. I think back in the first couple of years of the game's current iteration, we didn't have any good way to track who owned a team at a certain time. So there'll be spots in there where things may work out. I think one of the things we'll do with this is over time, and as the community gets it, people can give us, I'm sure they'll give us a lot of feedback. There may be little things that we've missed here and there, and we may have to tweak the data. But generally, what we did is this. We came up with a way, and there's a strategy around this, is to give records of everything that you've done in CSFBL from the day you registered.
Okay.
And a few little parameters around it. We said, in order for a season to count, the season has to be complete. So you can't look at seasons in progress. And you have to own the team for the entire season. Basically, you have to be the owner in the first game of the season. You have to be owner on the last game of the season.
Yep.
So pretty simple, but that kind of gives parameters around that. There are certain leagues that we're going to exclude. They're mostly for test data and some of the experiments. There was some done recently where I think someone won 160 games. Obviously, we don't want things like that to skew the real user records. But like anything, data is always taken with a grain of salt. There's nothing in here about competitiveness. We're not looking at this subjectively. It's very objective. We are looking at raw data and giving you raw data. And there's a couple different ways to look at it. You can look at user records for your franchise, for all your teams, for individual teams that you've owned over the years. And some of the things you'll see is, total wins and losses, average place that you finish in the division, playoff appearances, how you've done at the end of the season in terms of how far you've gotten to the playoffs, how many World Series rings. And then also look at it in a timeline where it's year over year. So if you've been playing for 20 years, you'll see 20 bars and whatever metric you want. You want to see how your teams have fared and how you've done, over the years. You can see all that. Very interactive. A lot of clicking around, some charts. You can share charts right through your mobile device or your computer. You just click on a button and you can send that chart to somebody else if you want to brag, or if you're looking at someone else's chart or page and you want to call out somebody you think is tanking.
Yep.
I did see some interesting data when I was looking around this. I won't say anything of the person I'm looking at right now, but there was one weird looking chart that really looks suspicious. A lot of
On
high
mine?
places and low places. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I
Well,
have
yeah.
to.
There's some leagues it's not tanking, it's cycling. It's cycling.
Cycling. That's the safe
But
way to say it.
Clone
Got it.
Clone sent me his right away just to throw it in my face how good he was in one league that we were in together. And when people look at this, it is really awesome. I would have people keep in mind that we'll keep iterating on this because some people, because of the different league designs, run leagues in ways that are going to confuse the stats, like in a league like GOAT or a league like Redraft, where you're switching. We're going to find ways to make it easier to aggregate that over time. But initially, this thing is magic. And the thing that I was so excited about is for the first time, you were able to see the entirety of your time in CSFBL. You were able to see when you were good, why you were good, what teams you had, team names that you hadn't heard. And for a text-based simulation, this is one of the few places that we can add some visualization to it.
Yep.
And I think that's what's really cool about it, is you can see graphically performance over time. And it goes to one of those things that, you mentioned tanking. I think this is a passive way to start eliminating tanking or reduce tanking across the site, because you're going to be able to share the tanking with people directly. But also, I think it's just a great way for you to measure and improve over time. I think it's just awesome.
Yeah, and I think two things that you could look at this going longer term. I think the first piece is, yes, this is a starting point. There's a lot of ways to slice and dice this data, but I think this kind of gives a preview of what we're planning and what we want to deliver. But I think the other part is, I want people to start to see the interactivity. There's a lot that on a page is pretty flat. But as we have opportunities to do things like this, and we certainly want to bring in more and more of that, take more advantage of what platforms can do, and whether it be the web or mobile devices. So there's a big part of that that's coming in this as well. So I'd let it be a little teaser to a lot more to come. I mean, I would love to see stuff like this just for player performance. How cool would it be to see these? And once everybody sees it, they'll know exactly what I mean, to see trends over time graphically. Yep. And it's a powerful visualization. So
it's the start of many things to come. I think everybody's going to be super excited. Well, maybe we should let me make you the host here.
Yeah.
Let's bring it up on the screen and show the people what they're about to see. Now, as I do that, this video is going to most likely come out half a day before people are going to be able to go in here themselves. Maybe you just tell everybody when they're going to be able to see this for themselves.
Yeah, so by the time this video is out, I'll post out the full release notes on the forum. We'll put links to it on Discord and Facebook as well. So you'll be all the nitty gritty details of how this works and all that stuff. And there's some other little changes to the site that's in there. So this will all be described. This is being rolled out on Thursday. That is February 17th, tomorrow, as it is the time I'm speaking. We'll take the site down around 6:45 p.m. Eastern time. So you'll get plenty of time to see the results of the 6 p.m. sims. It'll probably only be down for about an hour. It's not a big release. So I expect the site to be back online by 8 p.m. Eastern time. So we shouldn't miss any sims in the process. And once it's up, you'll have full access to everything you're about to see here.
All right. Wait, I see. Yeah, it looks like you have my user records up there.
Well, you will look at you next. So I'll start off.
Okay, all
So
right.
in this, if you go back to your user page, you'll see these. You'll see this for everybody. You'll see this if you're looking at your own page or someone else's page. You'll see these records here, and there's two buttons, one for records, one for timeline. So we'll take a look at the user records. Hopefully, we don't get an error. Oh, we
By the
didn't.
way,
Good.
Brian, you see that we're in the playoffs against each other again in a new beginning right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I'll make.
yeah,
I just got the note that I got into the playoffs, so I'll
yeah,
have to take a
we're
look at
doing it again.
that.
Sorry, go
So
ahead. Yeah, click on records.
So here you go. So let me try to make this a little longer there. So when you look at user records, this is kind of what you see.
Oh,
Give it a little.
I'm still seeing your franchise page.
Oh, you didn't see the records page?
I'm seeing Brian's team still.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, let me go back and let me start to share this again. What the heck?
Yeah,
All
that was weird. I didn't see it change.
You see it now?
Yeah, now there it is.
All right, there we go.
Boom.
That's what we're talking about. Okay, user records. So the user records page, you can see very quickly the snapshot of it. Because
You just blew everybody's mind just by bringing this up. Honestly, like this is incredible.
So some cool things here. Obviously, you can see right here what everything is. Graphs of what this is. So here's my division finishes. Now this is looking at my data for all time. You want to see just a specific year, you can just go right to that year. Boom, there's the data for that year. You'll notice on the bottom, it's telling you all the teams that you've owned in that year. And now just so everybody knows, a season falls into a year based upon when it ends. So when the season ends, that's the calendar year that it falls into. So for those December seasons that end in January, they'll actually be credited towards that year, that whatever that January is.
Got it.
So you can look at your stats for a certain year. We'll go back to the very beginning here, 2003, and you can also see how fast this is coming up. It's almost instantaneous. You can look at the last 12 months, so you get an idea of how you've been faring recently. Down the bottom, you see
nice run.
Yeah. If you want to look at I just want to look at one of my teams. I want to look at the Gas House Gorillas. Click on the magnifying glass, and boom, right there. Changes. The graphs change just for that one team. Everything changes just for that. You go back to see everybody. Look at it. The Gorillas won 3 World Series games. You want to see what that is?
I know they have. They're on quite a run.
And there's all the World Series wins by that team.
That's cool. Wait, how'd you bring that up? I don't think I saw that.
See, we sneak these things in.
Yeah, that was something.
So if you go down to where the World Series rings are, if you click that little kind of I don't know what you want to call that.
A little sandwich box or whatever. I don't know what that is. That's awesome.
So here's all things, and there's all your trophies. So obviously this shows so this is actually showing every time I've been in the World Series.
And the wins and losses. That's unexpected. I did not know that was going to be there. That's cool.
So yeah, we'll take a look at yours.
Look at
you can see there. Look at 50
rings.
World Series rings. Let's see.
It only took me 20 years to get there.
Look at that. This is division. How can someone own a team and almost never be in third place?
Yeah, that is definitely the story of that team for sure.
Yeah, all right, you're looking a little better now, but there's a history there that I'd be certainly curious about.
That's awesome.
Hey, if you want to share this, click on share, and it's actually going to pull up and use your device's built-in thing. So on a mobile phone, it'll do it just like you would see on a mobile phone. It'll actually send it out. In this case, I just said share to email, puts the link to the page, attaches the graph. As you can't see it, it's on another window. It attaches the graph as in the attachment, so you can send there. You can send them text messages, Discord, anything that's linked in on your device or on your mobile phone. This also works great on mobile. We've tested it on mobile, and it looks really good even on a mobile phone or a tablet.
It looks optimized for mobile. It's great.
So let's go to the next one, the timeline. I actually like this one even better. So
Oh,
timeline shows you your history in kind of bar chart form of all time for whatever metric you're looking at. So in this case, I'm looking at the number of seasons I played, and that would be how many seasons I've owned a team for that entire thing. And this is the embarrassing 2013. Oh God.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Life happens. You got
Yeah, it
busy.
does. It does. It does. But same thing, you got the World Series rings per year, and you could click on it just like I did before to see all the results in that.
Yep.
You see kind of, year by year of all the breakdowns. So basically everything that fills up this graph is more detailed down here.
Oh, I
You want
like
to,
how it changes colors when you hover over it. I don't
yeah,
remember
yeah. So
that.
you'll
That
see that. You'll see the exact details of what it
huh.
is. And so you want to go in, you want to see total wins per season. Obviously, this is going to be highly skewed based
Ooh,
on how many seasons you've
2009,
played. Yeah, there's a lot of seasons
3,800
there. But
years.
let's look at winning percentage. That's probably better. You
Wow,
know,
you're very consistent.
you go in there at the World Series wins. You can see how many World Series wins you have per year. Percent playoff appearances is a good one. How many seasons have you
You've never
actually
been
made the
better than right
playoffs?
now.
Yeah, well, because I'm not now really paying attention.
It's ever since we became partners, you've gotten better at baseball. That's it. I'm
Yeah,
your lucky
what's in
charm.
yeah, what's interesting is you can tell success by activity. You can see here this is average place. So lower bars are here I'm averaging 1.5,
Yeah.
which is right between first and second place. But you can see, I mean, averaging between fourth and fifth place. These are the years of lower activity. If
Oh
you if
yeah,
you
that
want you want
graph.
to win, you got to keep track of your team.
Yeah, that's one of those weird graphs that you have to kind of look at in reverse. The smaller the bar, the better.
Yeah. So let's take a look at yours.
Yeah, let's see that timeline. Boom. What is that? That's total seasons. Yeah,
Total
I started
seasons.
getting really active 2019. I mean, well,
See.
if you look at it though, like even the low end seasons, I've been, um,
Yeah. Well, yeah, you've only 50,
yeah, I
60
played
seasons. That's
60. Yeah, that's
that's
a
a
lot.
lot. That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's at least 5 teams.
Look at that. Total wins. You're
Woo.
almost breaking the chart here. Almost nine. Oh, like just missed 9,000 for the year.
Oh, yeah, fell out
But look at
into
this. I
the
mean,
next season.
I love just the all-time stats. I mean, look at this. Just see everything you've done. Look at that. You're barely a 500, just over 500 team in the playoffs.
Yep. I'm firmly over 500, I like to say.
You can see your
Look
World
at that. I
Series.
mean, look at the, but when you look at the number of sims, that means just me, I've had over 100,000 sims.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's just
606.
since 2011.
Yeah.
Oh, and I played 7 years beyond that.
Yeah.
Wow, that is crazy.
Now, some things, this is some interesting stuff. Obviously, some people have used multiple accounts over the years. They've come back and started a new
Uh-huh.
one. So you'll get some kind of discrepancies on that. You go back to some old timers, good old Slick. Um, let's take a look
Oh,
at
yeah.
his. Wow, he was gone for a while.
Geez, that is quite a time off. That is quite a
Yeah,
respite.
yeah, yeah. So, and look, some of this could be, data quirks. We'll have
Yep.
to work that out. But generally, the trick is you have to own the team for the whole season. So if you're only popping in, if you're losing teams, or if you're the type of person who likes to get a lot of World Series wins by picking up a team that's unowned in the middle of the season, winning the World
Yeah.
Series and dumping them at the end of the season, you're not
Not
getting
gonna
credit
work.
for it. Nope,
Nope.
you got to be there for the duration. And it is, we have had in the past where some league commissioners take ownership of teams for a brief period of time to manage the draft picks before we had the live draft. It protects against that. So it only looks at the first game of the season and the last game of the season. So if a commissioner took over a team in the middle of the season for a couple of days, that's not going to hurt you. Obviously, it will allow you to take over a team in the beginning of the year, lose them, and then if you can get them back right before the end, you'll get credit for it. But what are you going to do? It can't be perfect.
Can't be perfect. Yeah. Yeah, this is incredible. And this is a good moment for me to tell everyone out there, every single one of you listening to my voice right now is going to both have an idea, a comment, something that they would like changed, a different color, a different stat, they would like it this way. do not DM me with all that stuff. We'll have one repository that Clone will set up where you can put all your comments into one thing, because we want to just get those everything into one place so we can prioritize continuing to improve this, because this really is the start of something bigger. We can do a lot with user records beyond them just being awesome. And where they go, I don't know, but this is really the start of being able to grade ourselves, and like hold ourselves accountable. And also, all those past seasons didn't just disappear into the ether, right? Like they're still there. They still matter. There's still numbers on the board. And I found it incredible to reminisce for hours just looking back at some of these old teams that I actually forgot about.
Yeah, and you could see kind of down here, you could see the seasons that you've owned the team. In this case, you'll notice like a little tiny little detail. If there's a hyphen, that means you've owned that team consecutively for all those seasons. If there's an ellipsis there, that means there's been a break in the action. So obviously over this span of about 70 something seasons, you've only owned them for 52. But you can see you kind of see the whole history there.
Man, look at that.
Down to the people that you never really cared much about down here.
Oh, hey, that's one of that USA Hospital Charge Masters. That I think was like my second team I ever picked up. It was just some random Greek league.
Yeah, they did pretty good.
Yeah, all right. Well, I probably did exactly what you were talking about. I picked up some team that was already awesome.
Yeah, so this is it. It's going to come out tomorrow, Thursday night. Everyone will see this, and yeah, definitely we're looking forward to getting hearing what people think about it.
Big update. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the next step to roll this out, and I hope people have as much fun with it as I think we did. It got us super excited collectively. Everybody, like I said, everybody I showed it to got super excited about it, and I think it really just adds so much weight to the fact that this is a game where you can own multiple teams, and we don't have to comport with the laws of physics. We can have multiple teams playing multiple games on a single day, and all of that history here, to have it in one place as a single repository is just really, really incredible. Something we've never been able to do.
Yeah. Now we're tapping into that grand history. It's a chance to go back down memory lane. It's a kind of interesting. When Russ and I were looking at this, we kind of looked at our stats. He was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that year. That wasn't a good year. No wonder why I did so bad." And that's that's part of it too.
Yeah.
Nostalgia is a fun thing.
Man, 2012, I was hitting my stride. I went to 5 World Series in TCL. I won 3 in IBA. I was killing it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's pretty good. Of course, everything that you see everywhere is always linkable to wherever the pages are and whatnot. So
awesome. Damn fine job. Damn fine job.
You'll all get it tomorrow.
And it's coming out tomorrow. All right. So we're going to leave it there. Get everybody hyped. This was a hype video, so check it out. And like I said, comments, concerns, questions, there'll be a spot for that as well. But before I let you go, Brian, anything else that you want to make sure that you can say to the group?
No, I guess the only thing I throw out there is, hey, you know what? There's a lot of data that everyone's going to see now. I think we're going to, down the road, look to, I think the next step to this is how do we then compare A to B, compare user to user. I think one of the things that we've talked about in that is we don't want to be the people who look at things kind of subjectively. We want to be the objective one. So if you have more wins, you have more wins. But the community could come up with all their own little ways.
That's
and,
right.
So maybe we'll have the John Smith algorithm of league competitiveness and ranking. And if you come up with something great, yeah, you know what, we'll put it up there. We want to kind of push that back on the community to let you guys figure out how to kind of compare each other so you can slice it and dice it and argue about it your way. So that's, I think, you get hands on this data for those people who just love digging into data and looking at stuff. There's a good opportunity to get stuff and take it from there.
That's a
Start with something different.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that is a really important thing, is the obvious topic of owner stats leads to owner rankings. And that's something that we're just not going to do officially in any official capacity, because who's to say? Plus, not everybody wants to be ranked. So really, it's just a matter of delivering the data and then letting leagues do what leagues do. Leagues decide whether or not they want to, who they want to let in, how they want to participate, whatever it might be. And there is leagues for everyone. For every highly competitive goat, there is a very laid back lawn chair, 8 a day, 2 a day, whatever it is. And so we just want to provide more data for owners and league managers to have more options to make more and interesting, cool ways to play baseball.
Absolutely. There's good stuff coming.
There's great stuff coming. All right, we're leaving it there. Give us your feedback. Love you all. We're running home. See ya.